G'day folks, here we go. We're going to go on a Eddie Grill's a journey of discovery. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I've got my freaky little stand here, and the wide glider, as you can see, has been pulled apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that if you're going to go this, at, you know, at your Harley Davidson like this, you get a half an idea how to pull it apart and use a spanner. So I'm not going to bore you with getting it apart. What if it does, I've got it apart. I'm going to show you all the components and what's going on now that I've worked it out. And then just a wee bit of reassembly. But the main thing is to look at the components once we've got them apart. So what we have here is something that I don't know the name of. But it's clearly something to do with the problem we're trying to solve is the idle sensor. So what's happening is the bike is getting down to low revs, you stop to idle, died in the arse, or revs high and all the rest of it. So that's something that's in to do with it. This little thingy here is the actual idle sensor. Now I'm just going to run you through a quick thing. If you're finding you're having this problem and you're out and about, whatever, you know, there is a quick fix that will get you home and it'll get you out of trouble, but it's not a proper fix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get over the other side of the bike here so that I can see what this camera's doing for you. And I've removed the air cleaner, as you can see. So this is where your air cleaner goes, and we're looking straight down the inlet port there. Now if you look up underneath there, I've taken it out so you'll see a hole. I'm going to put my thumb over the hole. Come on, mate. Goes there it is there. Now if you're having this problem while you're out on the road, simply take your air filter cover off and your air filter off and squirt some WD-40 or some contact cleaner or brake clean up there. You'll see a whole load of black stuff come out, you know, give it a bit of wipe with a rag, and that'll get you home. That's what I've done a couple of times, but it didn't solve the problem completely. I could used to look at the top of the thingy or the bottom of the thingy, whatever's going on, I don't know. Let's see how we go with this. So I'm just going to nestle that down there for a minute so as I can show you what's going on. The idle sensor itself, now you can't see this very clearly because if I take the camera out in the sun it's going to be shit. But what I'm showing you there is on this side here you'll notice that it's a bright, clean surface, clean looking surface or worn surface, and then a dark surface that's not at all been worn. Now as I spin this around, you'll see that the worn surface or the shiny surface gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and there you go, and now it'll get smaller. So this is not seating properly. Okay, I've had a look inside the, go back to the bike, I've had a look inside the thing itself down in here. I hope you can see that, and that's all good. So the seating in there, that seat's not worn, it's just a seat on the little plunger there, and just here is where that other little doober goes. I'm not entirely sure what it is. It's some sort of vacuum thing, but we'll give that a clean, put it back in. So what I'm going to try and do today is tidy up the surface on this. It needs replacing. I'll have to replace it, but I need to get this bike on the road so I can put my ape hangers and stuff on that one over there. So I need this bike running for the longer trips into Perth and stuff like that. Okay, so I'm just going to go away for a little while. I'm not going to stand around and do all this one. I've got it all ready to put back together. Maybe a reassembly video. I may be able to put two videos together. I really don't know what I'm doing. Right, folks, we're back with the tidy up on this idle sensor. So I'd sort of say two trains of thought, you know, because before we could see a dark side and then we could see a shiny side, and now we can see a little bit of dark still and then a whole lot of shiny on the other side. So this is not by any stretch of the imagination a well-machined piece of stuff. It's a Harley Davidson, and God, why would it be? You know, the most important thing that comes out of your motorbike is the noise. Why would you worry about spending a whole lot of money on getting this right. So what I did do was I concentrated more on the side that had a bigger seat, because the side that didn't have such a seat would already have a sharper angle on it, which made sense to me. All I did was get a little bit of wet and dry, cut it to the right sort of width to go there. I had P600 handy. I look on the back of your thing there and you'll see the P600. And just, you know, I took my time and I went around it gently, just, yeah, it's far from perfect because we know this is a fix and not trying to save us like $200 down at the Harley Davidson shop buying this thing. So all that said, I'm just going to clean up the little thing here with a little bit of, you've got to be careful with contact cleaner because that'll shrink rubber. So I don't think I have any brake clean at the moment, so I'm probably just going to give it a little bit of a hit with some WD-40, give it a wipe, and I don't think that's the problem. I think the seating of this thing is the problem. So by squirting the thing up, you know, whatever up, the contact cleaner or anything up that little hole that I showed you before in the inlet there, was just to get gunk off the sensor so as it could sense properly. And that got me home. That got me 200 Ks, done. You know, no problems at all. The next time I sprayed it up there, it got me about 40. So anyway, I'll do a little, let's just do a little bit of a rundown, because it was a little bit tricky. So to get this shit out, I just want to go over the bike for you and show you why it got a little bit tricky. Okay, moving on. There's a bracket that goes on here. There's a bracket that goes on with this duva here. Okay, so that's going to sort of go. That's going to go in the bike all the way up. All right, then this baby's going to screw there, and here what you can see. I hope I can it's showing up clearly. You can see there's two grooves here and a bit of a thing. So these are where your throttle cables are basically seated into the, you know, just before they operate your butterfly and your inlet thing. Now, I was almost made the mistake of thinking that this piece here on one of the cables, and be very careful not to bend these cables when you muck around getting them out. So, I'm showing you, damn it, right. So here's one of your cables, and on the end of it is actually a little spring that sits down in that thing. God, I don't even know if I can see that, people. But at the end of the day, at first I thought it had broken off end piece of the cable, and I thought that could be the problem. I nearly took the cable out and cut it off. Look carefully and try not to crimp your cable too much. It would be embarrassing. Oh, I did. Right, so this is where we're at. We're going to reassemble those pieces there. God, this is difficult because I don't know how to turn the camera around. Anyway, making a mess of it as it is. Let's not muck around with that shit any further. Yeah, okay. Okay, folks, I've mounted this camera on my bike with a little monkey thing there. Just going to slip this stuff back together very quickly, and we'll call it. So the first thing was this little item here, which we gave a little bit of a clean, and had a plug just here. So just plug that in because the bracket duva holds all this together. A little bit of a push in there. It should rotate like that freely, no problem at all. Then we have the idle sensor with the polished edge and stuff like that. Once again, plug him back in. Ooh. There you go. Just seat him down there. Sorry, I should have put the bracket on before I plugged that in. Come here. You fucking cat. Right, get out of the way. That little baby's going to sit down in there like that. Now, I'm pretty sure I sort of have to get this bracket. Now here's the bracket. The bracket serves a number of purposes. As before I said, you've got these two grooves here where your throttle cable and return cable are going to go in. This little piece holds that duva down there, but still allows it to move like so, so don't get too excited about that. Getting this back screw in is a little bit tricky, so right, people like playing with big fingers, be careful. So I'm not going to try and put the cables on first because that's just not going to work, I already know that. We'll just drop him down in there. Oh, by the way, there was nothing in that there. I don't know whether there's a fast idle cable or it's maybe for something else on another bike. Who knows? But it's not there today and we don't give a fuck. Just pop that screw in there quickly to hold it steady, but not tight, because you've got that other screw to go in the back. We'll keep that wire out of the way for now. Keep those cables out of the way while we get this little screw in the back. If I can still see that. Righto folks, here we go. I like doing it like so, and that way you can feed it into the hole. Once you get into the hole, it's pretty good. I'm not going to bore you with doing that up because that takes quite a while with a little spanner because you can't get in there. I think this is something to do with the brake, so I didn't want to undo that. And that looks like a banjo or something there with that bolt. So I'll left well enough alone. Let's just run through this quickly. So this wire plug can then just go back in there. Right. Pull this cable up and feed it in there into that rear position. And don't forget this little spring, folks. There's a little spring. Hopefully you can see it now that I'm talking about. It looked like part of the outer cable or inner cable, whatever, but it's not. And I'm just going to get that up and over, up and down in the hole. I will add that I did loosen off my throttle cables up by the handlebar to do that. There we are. It's basically the reassembly. Then you've just got your filter and everything goes back up and adjust your throttle cables. I might do a little quick thing on that. We'll see how we go. Incidentally, folks, the way I got the back one done up was to get this little, that's your ratchet screwdriver, you know, thing that, you know, go near the screwdriver, make your sockets gone. Then that and a 1/4 inch spanner because it's really tight in there, folks. So I did that.